We all start with good intentions. We want to get fitter, feel healthier, and look our best. We dive headfirst into intense workouts and restrictive diets, chasing that elusive goal. But what happens when the pursuit of fitness becomes an obsession? I've always been passionate about fitness. It's my life's work to inspire people to move their bodies and experience the incredible benefits of exercise. But even I, someone who seemingly lives and breathes fitness, fell into the trap of burnout. I was pushing myself too hard, ignoring my body's signals, and sacrificing rest and recovery for another grueling workout. I was caught in a cycle of pushing my limits, chasing a certain physique, and measuring my worth by my physical performance. It all came to a head when I realized I wasn't enjoying it anymore. The passion was gone, replaced by a sense of obligation and a fear of losing the progress I'd worked so hard to achieve. Burnout crept in slowly. At first, it was just a feeling of fatigue, a lack of motivation that I pushed aside. I told myself it was normal to feel tired, that I just needed to push through it. I was so focused on the end goal that I ignored the warning signs my body was sending. The workouts that used to energize me became a chore. I dreaded going to the gym, my body felt heavy, and my performance suffered. The joy of movement was gone, replaced by a sense of obligation and a fear of losing the progress I'd worked so hard to achieve. I was constantly tired, but sleep offered no escape. I would lie awake at night, my mind racing, worrying about my next workout, or berating myself for skipping a session or indulging in a treat. My social life suffered too. I was so consumed by my fitness regimen that I withdrew from friends and family, declining invitations and making excuses. I was isolating myself in the pursuit of a goal that was no longer serving me. Burnout manifests itself in many ways, both physically and mentally. For me, the physical signs were impossible to ignore. I was constantly exhausted, my muscles ached, and I was more susceptible to injuries. My sleep was disrupted, my appetite changed, and I constantly felt run down. My body, once a source of pride and strength, felt like it was betraying me. But the mental and emotional toll was even more profound. I was irritable, anxious, and my self-esteem plummeted. I felt like a failure, unable to keep up with my own unrealistic expectations. The joy I used to find in movement had vanished, replaced by a sense of dread and obligation. The turning point came when I realized I was miserable. This wasn't the healthy, balanced lifestyle I envisioned for myself. I was so focused on the physical aspects of fitness that I had neglected the most important element, my mental and emotional well-being. I knew I couldn't continue down this path. Something had to change. I needed to find a way to reconnect with my body, rediscover the joy in movement, and prioritize my overall well-being. It was time to redefine what fitness meant to me. This wasn't about giving up on fitness. It was about finding a sustainable approach that nourished my body and mind. It was about shifting my focus from punishment to appreciation, from external validation to internal satisfaction. Section 5. Rediscovering joy in movement. The first step in my recovery was to ditch the rigid, all-or-nothing mentality. I gave myself permission to rest, to skip a workout when my body needed it, and to enjoy treats without guilt. I started listening to my body's cues, honoring its need for rest and recovery. Instead of forcing myself through workouts I dreaded, I experimented with different activities I genuinely enjoyed. I rediscovered my love for hiking, swimming, and dancing, activities that brought me joy and didn't feel like a chore. I started incorporating more mindful movement into my routine, practicing yoga and Pilates to improve my flexibility, strength, and mind-body connection. This shift in perspective was transformative. It wasn't about punishing my body. It was about celebrating its capabilities and nourishing it with movement that felt good. Section 6. Building a balanced routine. I learned that a truly balanced fitness routine goes beyond the physical. It's about finding a sustainable approach that encompasses exercise, nutrition, rest, and mental well-being. I started prioritizing sleep, aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. I focused on nourishing my body with whole, unprocessed foods, but I also allowed myself to enjoy treats in moderation. Deprivation wasn't the answer. It only led to cravings and unhealthy relationships with food. I incorporated stress-reducing activities into my routine, such as meditation, spending time in nature, and connecting with loved ones. I learned to prioritize self-care, recognizing that taking care of my mental and emotional well-being was just as important as physical fitness. Section 7. The Power of Rest and Recovery. One of the biggest lessons I learned was the importance of rest and recovery. I used to believe that more was always better, that pushing myself to my limits was the only way to see results. But I realized that rest is just as crucial as the workout itself. It's during these periods of rest that our bodies repair and rebuild, becoming stronger and more resilient. I began prioritizing rest days, incorporating active recovery techniques like stretching, foam rolling, and gentle yoga. I learned to listen to my body's signals, recognizing that soreness, fatigue, and lack of motivation were signs that I needed to slow down and prioritize recovery. Rest wasn't a sign of weakness. It was an essential component of a sustainable and healthy fitness routine. Section 8. Listening to my body's whispers. Our bodies communicate with us constantly, sending subtle signals to indicate what they need. I learned to pay attention to these whispers, to differentiate between discomfort and pain, and to honor my body's limits. I started tuning into my hunger and fullness cues, eating when I was hungry and stopping when I was satisfied. I became more mindful of how different foods made me feel, noticing how my energy levels and mood were affected by what I consumed. This newfound awareness allowed me to nourish my body intuitively, making choices that supported my overall well-being. It was about finding a balance that worked for me, not adhering to rigid rules or restrictions. Section 9. Finding strength in balance. Overcoming fitness burnout was a journey of self-discovery. It taught me the importance of balance, not just in my fitness routine, but in all aspects of my life. It taught me to listen to my body, honor its limits, and prioritize my mental and emotional well-being. True strength isn't about pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion. It's about finding a sustainable approach that nourishes your body and mind. It's about celebrating your progress, no matter how small, and embracing the journey, setbacks, and all. It's about recognizing that fitness is a lifelong journey, not a destination, and that it's okay to have off days, to rest, and to adjust your goals along the way. Section 10. Your journey to a healthier, happier you. If you're feeling burnt out, know that you're not alone. It's okay to take a step back, reassess your goals, and prioritize your well-being. Remember that fitness should be a source of joy, not a source of stress. Listen to your body, honor its limits, and find activities that make you feel good. Be kind to yourself, celebrate your progress, and remember that every step you take towards a healthier, happier you is a step in the right direction.